this video, we are going to be exploring Google Sheets and why Google Sheets is such an amazing tool when we are starting to learn statistics. We are not going to be going into individual tutorials of all the little things that Google Sheets can do, but what I want to do is take you through a tour so that you have an idea of what to look for when you need something. All right, so there are 4 things that make Google Sheets really, really helpful when you are starting to study statistics. The first thing is the fact that it can host a lot of data in a very organized way. So in those rows and those columns. So as you can see, we have columns labeled with letters. It goes right now all the way to Z, but I can actually add more columns, and I can go over that in another video if needed. So we can have basically limitless columns as well as limitless rows. And so the rows go pretty far, and I could scroll, I think, all the way down to 1,000, but if needed, I could add more rows. And so just the ability to host all of that data is very helpful. That's the first thing. The second thing is the built-in formulas. So yes, I could take numbers into the calculator and, let's say, find an average or find a standard deviation in the way that I learned, or maybe using a formula, or even using the TI-84, which is faster, but this is even faster. So for example, let's say I wanted to take student 1, that's right here, and I wanted to average her math grade, her English grade, her history grade, and her science grade. I can start off by typing a formula. Every formula in Google Sheets starts with the equal sign. And then I can type the word average. But what I want you to notice, when I put A in, tons of stuff came up. I put AV in, a lot of stuff comes up. And so these are different formulas that are in Google Sheets. And so I can now highlight the math grade, English grade, history grade, and science grade and calculate it that way. Which leads me to the third amazingly useful thing. If I click this check mark here, Google Sheets is guessing that I want to do the same thing for the rest of the column, so I can click that. Let's say I decided not to. I can still take this, hover over the corner, and drag the formula. So it's finding the average, not just of that first student, but all of the 200 students that I have in this spreadsheet. So that gives us the average in seconds. And so the ability to copy paste formulas, not just values, but formulas, is extremely useful. So let's see this done one more time. So let's find the standard deviation. And I know the formula, and these are formulas that I'll go over in other videos. STDEV gives us standard deviation. Then I want the standard deviation of the math, English, history, and science grades. So I can go ahead, I just highlight those, close my parentheses, enter, and this time I'll autofill. And so it calculated the mean and the standard deviation of 200 students' test scores in just seconds. And so those 2 things are extremely useful. Another very, very useful thing, and this is the 4th and final thing I want to go over in this video as to why Google Sheets is an amazing tool when you're starting to learn statistics, is the ability to build charts. So let's say I want to see if the grades are normally distributed. I want to see the shape of that distribution. I can focus on math first. I highlight all the math grades. So that's 200 values. And I want to see what that histogram looks like. So I'm going to insert a chart. And I have options. And I am going to go down to the histogram option, which is right here. And it creates a chart. So as you can see here, it is not normally distributed. It seems like we have a lot of scores between 97 and 100. We have a lot of scores between 81 and 85. And if I don't like the way that this is set up, I can mess with the formatting. I can change my x-axis to be nicer, neater numbers. But again, all of that for another video. I did just want you to see what could potentially happen. Let's make another chart and then wrap this video up. Let's say I want to see if there's a correlation between English grades and history grades. I can highlight my two columns. And then I can insert a chart like I did before. But this time I'm going to insert a scatter plot. And I think that already happened. So let's go there. And that looks like there is absolutely no correlation, which makes sense because these numbers were randomly generated. And this is the correlation, very weak correlation. All right, so that is just a taste of what Google Sheets can do, just to give you an idea. Please watch more videos if you want to dive into each of these tools further. I will be back with more. All right, that's it for now.